Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It's called Queen of Hearts Readings. I'll be reading from April 29th through to the 5th of May for the sign of Cancer. And the first part of the reading will be for the masculine and the second part will be for the feminine. So like, subscribe and share my channel. And leave a comment below and I'll leave my links, my Facebook link in the description box. So the first card I've got is the Hermit. And the Hermit represents solitude. Like maybe this has been a week where you've felt like you needed to be on your own and to withdraw from people. And I guess it was just a week to gain extra clarity of what's going on. Maybe something happened that made you feel like you needed to reassess what was happening and be on your own for that week. The Hermit also represents seeking wisdom from someone who's, trustworthy, maybe older. It also represents being grounded, hanging out in nature more. But this is really representing a time where you felt like you needed to be on your own to deal with whatever it is in your head or whatever situation you're going through. So the second card is a Knight of Wands, and that's in reverse. And that could represent someone in your life, or it could be you who's sort of, it's usually someone around you, but the Knight of Wands represents someone who's kind of reckless. They're like a bull at a gate and they do things and they're a little bit selfish about it, and they say things and don't really want to cop the consequences of what they've said. So when a card like that is in reverse, it represents the toxicity of that person and the negative shadow aspects of that person. So the Knight could be a male or a male in your life that sort of just shoots their mouth off. They don't care. They're just happy. They're not happy. They just say whatever they feel like. A Three of Cups in reversed, it does represent a social circle, and this could just be a conflict around a social circle of multiple people, and maybe it's just trying to be careful and actually take consideration. It's a reminder to take consideration of other people involved in the social situation, because someone might feel like they're left out in the cold. And again, this has been a week of solitude where you're going to have to reassess the certain people in your life and what they've said. This could actually mean maybe an ending of a friendship or really a conflict that's happened between you and another person, but it's okay. And then the Page of Pentacles, that represents if you've applied for a new job or a new project, it will be successful, and it's saying that it's going to go through. And so this represents things to do with work, but it's also saying with this card just to be mindful of everyone else that's involved in the whole situation, because the Page, it represents someone who's a little bit more immature, who's got that younger mentality, how they deal with things in a, as if a young person would deal with it in a naive sort of way. Same with the Knight of Wands, that's someone who has that mentality of, they'll throw a tantrum if something doesn't go their way. So I'm going to pull some clarifying cards for the masculine, sorry. Okay. The unexpected. So something was said or something was done that you didn't expect. And and it's tested it's tested friendships, it's tested yourself, and you didn't expect that, and feeling it's made you actually step up into your boundaries of what's going on. And the abundance card, it represents maybe you've applied it for a new job. So this situation could either be in a social circle or a work situation, but just be mindful of what's actually coming up. Okay, so I will read for the feminines next. Alright, so the feminine is 3 of Swords in reversed, and upright. This card represents some level of pain and some level of betrayal, whereas the 3 of Swords, this could be to do with a relationship or an interaction. It doesn't matter who the relationship's with, because we all have interactions. But this is saying multiple people are I feel multiple people are involved. And it's like someone has been totally betrayed by that. But this is saying that since it's in reverse, it's saying you've accepted, you're aware that it's happened, but you're trying to move through the pain of what's going on. You've acknowledged that someone's either done or said something that's hurt you, and you're trying to move through the pain of being betrayed. The moon in reverse, if we compare that with the Hermit, that can actually represent some sort of depression that's been around us, and there's been a lot of cosmic energies lately. But the moon it's always going to cast a shadow. And when this is in reverse, it's saying that you're feeling like you're in the dark with something. And maybe for some people, it's a time to actually step in and realize why you're in there. Sometimes we need to feel sad in order to move through it. And it will eventually shed light on the truth of what's going on. The 2 of Cups in reversed, it represents that someone's either going through an ending of a cycle, ending of a friendship, or you're going to hear that someone's ended their friendship, or it could just be a total split between people. And with this, you've just gotta let the truth, lay the cards on the table, and the truth will eventually come to the surface. And we've got the Justice card, and that means that you're going to either have a fair outcome with whatever it is. Once you've accepted what it is, then there is going to be a fair outcome. But this is also asking, are you being fair to everyone else around you, or fair to yourself? And it can also represent legal matters. So if someone's going through a separation, there could be legal matters involved. But justice always represents a fair outcome, depending on whatever circumstances. So I get this week's, there's a lot for you to think of. So I'll pull some more clarifying cards for Cancer females. Okay. The masculine. Alright, so we've got purity, and that was in reverse, but it's reminding you to try and be pure in your thoughts, pure in your intentions, and pure in whatever actions you're actually going to take from now on. Same with the masculine, that I know I do reversals, but the masculine is the person that takes action. So this is reminding you to be pure in where you're going to go from now, on how you're going to move past the hurt. Just honor yourself, and if you need to step back away from the situation, that's with the Hermit, or seek someone who's wise to help you through it, then just do it. Alright. So the next part of the reading will be, what does Cancerians not see coming for this week? So we've got the King of Swords, and that when that's in reverse, it's the same similar card to the Knight of Wands. When that's in reverse, it represents someone who just doesn't want to take any responsibility for what they're doing. They're coming off as a narcissistic sort of person where if something happens, it'll be like, well, he made me do it, or she made me do it. So that, just be mindful of that energy. The Seven of Swords, that's saying that if you're keeping quiet about a certain situation, it could be to do with work or a relationship or whatever situation you're involved in. If you're keeping quiet about it, now is the time to actually do so and to keep quiet about it. And only act when it's appropriate. The Emperor represents someone who's older, like a father figure, or someone that's older than you who's, I guess they're grounded, but they're in full control of what they do. Or maybe they like to control the situation around them, but it's somebody who's authoritative, and it's a bit like the Hierophant. So, and the Justice card, that could also mean legal matters or dealing with something that is to do with the law or something. So maybe with work-wise, you could be working in that area, or you could be dealing with legal matters. But the Nine of Swords, that represents feeling night terrors and pain, but it also represents that you feel like you've been stabbed in the back by someone. Someone's words or actions or lack of actions has completely stabbed you in the back and hurt you. And is making you feel like you need to stay back and reassess your life. And I'll pull some clarifying cards for this. Who knows, it could have been this older person in your life, and the Knight of Swords energy, it could have been, that could have been the person that's completely stabbed you in the back. And alright, clarifying card. Clarifying it. Win or lose. Okay, so that's just reminding you to detach from the situation and try and pick your battles. Like, choose when you need to act and when not to act. Let's pull one more card. Darkest Fears. That's about releasing your darkest fears, being aware of them, and I'll compare that with the Moon card. It's like the Moon card, it means that it's like you feel like you're in the dark with that. So maybe that's representing your fears and you need to release it. Let the truth reveal itself. So the next 4 cards I've got. 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands in reversed, very similar to the 7 of Swords, and that's reminding you to stay quiet about something and proceed with caution of what's going on, and try and just weigh up whatever decisions you're making about. Even the 6 of Wands in reverse also represents work situations, so if you're going for a job, you might have a job switch, I guess, in however long it is, but it does represent work as well. And maybe you're going through a career change, or you're at a crossroads of what's going on and you don't know what direction you're changing to. The Two of Swords, that represents as a woman around you in your life that's completely, this could even be you if you're a female, but this is someone who's at a crossroads of what's going on. So with this card, it could be to do with work, or it could be to do with relationships, and they're completely guarding themselves. They don't know what decision to make. I think they're incredibly shocked from this hurt that's happened and hearing about this, that they're guarded. So sometimes when you know what the right decision is, or you know exactly what actions to take, the Two of Swords, it represents your being hesitant about making any decision. And the next card is the Eight of Cups in reversed and upright. It's about a mountain, so you sort of feel like you're at the bottom of the mountain, and with whatever decisions you're making, you feel like